there were some situations, I don't know if you remember this, that they ran out of anesthesia.
Oh, I remember that was definitely like that's not common. That's the only time that has ever happened. So, folks, they ran out of epidural.
Yeah, and so that was scary. And you can explain this better, Maisha. Like, I think that that kind of like,
Well, it needs to be a continuous fusion. So it's in a bag, goes through the IV, and when it gets low, it sets off an alarm. And I saw it low. I told the nurse, and they're not coming, they're not coming. And then I'm in the hallway like, yo, like what are you guys doing? Get her more epidural. And the nurse is like, we're out. I'm like, what? Like this doesn't happen. This
yeah.
doesn't happen, but it happened. There was like a shortage. So I think we turned off the pit, right? Because I was like, she's gonna be in so much pain when that wears off. And I don't want that to happen, which is terrible because once you turn off the pit, when you turn it back on, you start very low and you increase it by a small amount every 20, 30 minutes. So I was like, if we end up in a C-section for this, I'm going to be so mad because I,
Mm.
the heart rate started to get a little tired. She was starting to get tired in there. And then we had to add this ridiculous pause and turn everything off and then turn it back on. And then when we finally had some, turn it back on again slowly and hope that the baby was going to tolerate all this. What are you doing out there?
Oh my God. Now that you remind me all of this, you brought me all this. Maybe you have to edit my previous response. No, that was a bad situation. I guess the effect on me was, I mean, you guys were always there to tell me the truth, but you were actually kind of translating everything that they were saying to me to make me feel more confident. And I get emotional about this because it was scary. It was scary to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
like they were trying to find her heartbeat, even though everything was fine. When you don't have that person
Right.
helping you, it's like, sorry, my friend, what the heck, what the fuck are they saying? And I think that that's actually, it shows the power of having my doula there, because you really brought peace of mind to me, and the tranquility I need. And because when I talk about this with Jonah, is we always remember those moments as yeah, scary and fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
also as okay, it was a bump on the road, and thankfully
Mm-hmm.
nothing bad happened, because I
Yeah.
was about to lose it for a moment. I remember
Yeah.
Sunday night, evening, I was a little bit done, and
Yeah.
I remember now because I started rereading my text, a few days ago, from those days that I was sending to my family, and I had forgotten that I started vomiting on Sunday. So I was
Mm-hmm.
really, my body was already tired, and obviously we were not eating. I was not eating anything or drinking
Right.
as much. But even what I was drinking, the tea, chamomile tea, I was throwing up, and that has like a huge weight,
Awful.
right? And so now that we mentioned this, it is true that that part was scary, and that's when I started to lose faith a little bit. I think that something that I remember a lot during the postpartum, because obviously postpartum is complicated, right? And beautiful at the same time. But I sometimes, and I guess a lot of women feel like that, new moms, like when you are trying to redefine who you are and who is this new
Yes.
transformed person, I often go back to those 3 days and say, God, I wish I have the strength right now that I show those days, because I think that, yeah, like if I wasn't prepared, because I also kind of prepare, more like
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, go through this process. And if I hadn't you guys, both of you, I don't know how I would have been, you know.